It's the Nana, N-A-N-A-N-A. Welcome to the O-C-E-B-I-T-C-H-O, bitch.
What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together
We're
the Dailies.
Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week our Nana comes to town for Passover, and we watch the hit 2000s teen drama, The OC. This week we watched Season 1, Episode 23, The Nana.
But before we get into this, it's time for everyone's favorite section. It's time for the Rosies and the Thornies.
Every rose has its thorn,
Has its thorn.
just like every night has its dawn.
Dawn, dawn, dawn.
Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah. Jesus. This is the part of the show where Elyse and I look back on the last week and talk about the good and the bad. We call them the Rosies and the Thornies. It's just a way for us to remember our past week and focus on the things that we loved and the parts of life that were a little difficult. As always, we start with the bad. Elyse, what was your bad thing this week?
It's not chronic, but I really have bad neck pain. And this past week, I think I slept on it wrong when I was coming back from New York or was in New York. I don't know, but I slept on it wrong and it really hurt. And it's been probably 4 or 5 days. And then I realized it wasn't just my neck pain.
Uh-oh.
It, was in my shoulder and my back. And it's not great. And I've been taking some Tylenol. I got some Icy Hot. Scott was really nice and worked on the knots in my shoulder because the knots in the shoulder are what's affecting my neck, or my neck is affecting my shoulder. They're related to each other.
They're on the same body. Your body.
I just realized today I found out from my insurance they don't cover chiropractic.
Most insurance doesn't cover chiropractors because they're not real doctors.
Yeah.
Sorry to any chiropractors out there that are listening.
So
they're not
I either pay
medical.
for the chiropractor or I do this other thing that my mom told me is supposed to be good too.
What is the other thing?
It's like it's called Aerosty. It's a method that's
Is this some goop shit? This is some Gwyneth Paltrow shit.
The Goop Lab.
This is some Gwyneth Paltrow shit.
I've quite been enjoying the Goop Lab.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
You're a goop stan.
Anyways, it's been better today because Scott was really nice and worked on my back twice yesterday for just 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm a
It
trained
made it-
professional. You know how it is.
So he's just going to have to do that every day for the rest of our
I am
lives.
not trained enough to do that. I would not recommend it.
At least until I can go to a professional.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my thorn. What's yours?
My thorn is Kobe.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Kobe Bryant died yesterday, and I guess I just want to get this out of the way. I know what he did. What he did was awful. I'm not saying that what he did was not awful, and I am absolutely fine with people choosing this moment to remind people of the terrible things that he did. I think that's fine. I also think it's fine to mourn someone. We've not really talked about this on the show.
I also say, if you only want people to ever be remembered for the mistakes, then just go ahead and think through all the mistakes that you've ever made and be glad that you're not going to hopefully be remembered just for those.
Well, hopefully people
And
won't.
he who cast the stone.
You fucked that.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I mean, look, he did a terrible thing, and I don't want to, I think there is an important conversation to be had in this world about the way our society looks past sexual assault, especially if you happen to be famous and rich. That is absolutely a problem in our society, 100%. And I think you can be sad that this guy died. And I don't think those are mutually exclusive.
He was trying to get the name Mambasita trademarked.
Yeah, for his daughter.
Yes.
Like he was devoting his life to getting his daughter into the WNBA because
He wrote
she wanted
books with female
Yeah.
characters like his daughters because he was tired that there weren't enough like his daughter represented. I mean, like,
I mean, he wasn't a perfect person.
no, but he's turned things around,
Yeah.
and you have to applaud the fact that someone has.
Sure. I don't know. Like, we've never talked about this. I love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. It's my favorite sport to watch. I shared half season tickets with someone for a long time for the Mavericks. I haven't talked about it on the show very much because the Dallas Mavericks have been so awful that there just wasn't a lot of basketball to talk about. But
They're pretty good now.
They are. They're great now. I love basketball, and Kobe Bryant was someone you watched growing up constantly. Like I watched so many of his games. I was blown away. His 81-point game, I watched that game live. It was incredible. He was an incredible athlete. He worked harder than anyone else at the game. Like he wasn't one of those people that was just, I mean, he was very gifted, don't get me wrong, but he worked his ass off at the game. And he did some shitty stuff. And our society let him get away with doing shitty stuff. And that's bad. And
Yeah.
we should not tolerate that at all. But I think it's okay to mourn someone's death as well. People died, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And I'm sad about it. And I think I can recognize the problems our society has with rape and sexual assault and still be sad about a person that I looked up to quite a bit passing away. So that's my thorn. It's pretty sad. I'm pretty sad about it. But did you see the Lakers? They delayed their game. They were supposed to play the Clippers tomorrow. And they're not going to do it. They're going to delay the game as the team mourns because, like, all of LA was like destroyed yesterday. Oh my god!
They've been playing reruns of old Lakers games
Yeah.
like all day on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
crazy.
sad.
It is. It is real sad.
I was really touched that the Grammys were able to pull something together.
Yeah, because it was at Staples Center. It
Yeah.
was at
8
other people died as well. We can't diminish that. His daughter, and then
The basketball coach. I mean,
yeah,
that
and
was
a
one of the
baseball
things.
coach as well. I think.
It was like everyone that was on the team was waiting for them and for the coach.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
Yeah.
And that's all I could think about driving to work this morning in the fog.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's all I could think about. It was
I
like
don't
the
know.
visibility. I don't know what the problem was.
I was
but-
talking to Matt, and he's like, we were talking about how just terrifying it is to like be in that situation. Like, I put myself in that situation. I don't have kids, but like, imagine you're in a helicopter that's crashing, and you like know this is it, and you're with your kid, and you can't protect her. Like, you can't. There's nothing you can do. It's got to be the scariest experience ever. I can't. Like, it's awful. It's awful. It's tragic. It's terrible. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. So that's my thorn.
Okay, we're done.
All right.
My
so let's
rose.
move on to the good
my
things.
rose is hand in hand with your rose.
So
So let me preface this
Okay, go for
with everyone knows that I love reality TV, but not all reality TV. I specifically love reality competitions on TV. And while The Bachelor, they, not necessarily think of it as a competition, there is a winner, So I like to watch these shows. And Scott told me about this show that's on Netflix called The Circle. I was like, you know what? I saw it advertised. I wasn't really going to watch it. But Scott said, okay. His friend Sammy was like, oh, yeah, you should watch The Circle. It was a good show. And so, you know what? Me and my reality TV and competitions, I was like, I'll give it a go. So I watched the first episode and I loved it. And I made dinner the next night and Scott had to record. And so I had maybe 30, 40 minutes of the second episode left. I was like, Scott, can we just watch this? Because you're not going to be here for very long. And then you're going to go and then you're going to have to record your thing. And that way I can at least watch my show. And Scott, tell everyone what happened as you watched that second episode. What happened, Scott?
I loved it.
It was so good.
I'm so fucking mad about the fact that I love this show, but it's so good. I mean, it's just like so 21st century. Like it's scarily
awesome.
21st century. I don't know. It's really funny. It's hilarious to see both like the inherent dishonesty of social media combined with just the goofiness of all these people they found. I don't know. I had a good time with the show. It's a lot of fun. And I'm mad that I liked it because I don't like reality television. And I don't like when I like reality television, but I'm not going to lie.
It's hilarious.
Pretend like I didn't like it.
It was just all the personalities for the contestants were brilliant. Whoever picked those people, at least the original, they had a good picker. They had a good picker.
My boy Joey and Shoebomb, the two MVPs of the show for me. They got to get them back somehow. I don't know how they could get them back somehow. Next season, bring them back.
But they can't.
Bring them
because
back.
now everyone knows who they are. Unless someone pretends to be them.
Or Shooby pretends to be somebody else. What if
Shooby would never do that. Shooby's all about
and
honesty.
Joey go back into the show and pretend to be each other?
No. Not going to happen.
Season writes itself.
Yep. Okay, well, so that's not the only TV we watched this week, Scott. We also watched the OC episode 23.
Like very upset about it. That was like a big sigh. Well, It's time to talk about the OC, I guess.
I also finished High School Musical, the musical, the series.
I don't want to talk about that.
It was good too.
All right, so The Nana.
Yep.
The Nana is the 23rd episode of Season 1 of the OC. It was written by Alan Heinberg and directed by Michael Lang, whose previous directorial efforts include The Lynx and The Rescue. You remember those episodes, right, babe?
I do remember The Lynx.
It originally aired on March 31st, 2004. And hit me with that summary, Elyse.
Sandy's overbearing and obnoxious mother, Sophia, the Nana, Cohen, arrives in Newport Beach to celebrate Passover, but she also brings not only her unattainable attitude, but some bad news that she's dying from cancer. Meanwhile, Ryan searches for Marissa, who has gone missing after inadvertently learning about her mother and Luke, and Ryan finds her in the most unexpected of places, at Teresa's house in Chino. Also, Summer tries to impress the Nana by knowing the traditions of Judaism, while Jimmy and Haley take a step forward with their own newfound romance.
Hey, Elyse.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about that summary?
It was pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Did a new summary person take over?
Did
at
you
the
write
OC
this,
Wiki?
Scott?
I did not. I did not. It's good.
Kind
it's
of
all
shocked.
factual.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. What'd you think about this episode, Elyse?
I love everything that has to do with the Nana and the Cohens, and I hate everything that has to do with something else.
Something else?
That was not that. Yeah. Didn't like Ryan and Marissa.
Oh yeah.
Didn't like Jimmy and Haley.
Yeah. I don't
So
know how
you
I
know
feel
what?
about that.
Just keep the Nana coming.
I loved the Nana. I feel like someone in the episode has cancer and they've decided not to get treatment, and then their family talks them into getting treatment. Plotline is like every show has to do at least one episode with that plot. It's
Some
like
sort of medical issue.
Yeah.
Maybe not cancer, but something. This is
they're not
us is
gonna-
doing
they're
it
not
right
gonna get
now.
treatment because we're just it's just yeah. So I mean, I didn't love that part of it. I mean, it's not like it's bad. I've just seen it so many times that as soon as I knew exactly where the plot was going. So it was just like but yeah, no. Overall, I like this episode. I agree with you. Teresa's back. She's fine. I don't care. The Marissa Ryan. Yeah, I'm really curious how this show is going to make me care about this Marissa Ryan stuff because it has failed to do that. Summer remains the best character on the show by far.
I know.
She's incredible. She's amazing. And she's the best girlfriend ever. This is just a weekly podcast about how Summer is actually just the best girlfriend ever.
Aside from me.
Well, yeah. You're not a girlfriend. You're a wife.
I was the best girlfriend ever.
Yeah, you relinquished that title when you married me, and you handed it back to Summer. Sorry. All right, let's get right into it. We open the episode with Luke and Ryan frantically searching for Marissa, who has run away after the revelation at the end of the last episode that Luke, her ex-boyfriend, was porking her mom.
But not frantically looking for Marissa is Cohen, who's asleep on the bed.
Yeah, well, you get
supposed to
tired.
be looking, and it's just, you know what? He just doesn't have enough energy. He can't keep up.
Hey, Lisa,
Summer exhausts
Is
him.
porking a word that people use anymore? I said that and it didn't feel right.
I don't think that they use that very much anymore. No.
I'm bringing it back.
No, you're not. You're going to let it die.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to, I feel like I have a lot of fashion advice for the characters in this week's episode.
You do. I was really shocked. Scott kept on commenting on wardrobe. Hanging out with me has been too much for him.
Yeah, it probably is. So
Yes.
Julie's got, Julie walks into this room, right?
Yeah.
And she has the audacity to be, indignant about, where's my daughter? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe you would know if you weren't fucking her ex-boyfriend.
And then Luke's like, they know.
Yeah.
And she
continues to be indignant and pissed off at Ryan as if this is Ryan's fault. Nuh-uh, Julie, it's your fault. But anyway, you know what else is her fault?
What?
wearing a shirt.
Actually, it's not her fault. It's the costume person's fault if we're going to get real technical.
Yeah, but if we're going into the world of the characters, jump into the show with me. Come take a ride into the world of the show with me. Julie Cooper got up in the morning, went into her closet, and said, this sweater perfectly matches my orangey hair.
Love it.
I'm going to put that on.
Perfect.
Good choice, me.
Way to go, Juju.
No, it's a bad choice. She looks like a Juju bean. She looks like one. She looks like the orange Juju bee.
Orange County. Orange Julie.
I hate it.
Why?
I hate it. She looks awful.
Yeah. Anyways, Ryan and Julie end up having a conversation after Luke and Seth are asked to leave. And basically, it's one person peacocking to the other. And they each are going to have their own plan about how to find Marissa, because Ryan knows that if Julie finds Marissa, her plan is just to lock Marissa away. And Ryan's not going to have any of that. So Ryan's going to go find her, but Julie wants to find her too. So
and we end this opening.
The race is on
with Ryan saying, "Not if I find her first." To nobody, to himself, because she's left the room. He's sitting there by himself. Not if I find her first.
Yeah.
And
California, here we come. Hey, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
What's the GPRA?
What's the game plan, Ryan Atwood?
Yeah.
So, I hate this. I hate this so much.
I love it.
So we come back from the opening and Ryan is like suddenly talking in abbreviations and is like, we got to do this now. It's quicker to talk in abbreviations. It's just like, I think it's just bad writing. I think it's like they went really hard for a joke here and it doesn't work.
WNSD.
I know, like, I had to translate it in my head. I got what you meant there. Why not, Scott Daly? But I'm not happy about it. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. I don't like it. Seth,
WNSD.
you're better. Get out of here. You're fired. Penny, you're on the podcast now.
No.
She's too busy drinking her wine bottle.
I love that she loves that toy.
Okay. So
everyone is gathering in the kitchen because Haley made a huge breakfast as a thank you for saving me from said strip club that we discussed last week.
This is just wasteful. Like, people are starving. And Haley made what appears to be 87 pancakes.
She wanted to make sure everybody got what they wanted and enough of what they wanted. It was very nice. There's always room for leftovers. And then in walks Sandy, who's trying to throw away all of the things that have leaven in them because the Nana is coming to town.
It's the first day of Passover. And the Nana is coming to town. So he's got to get all the bread out of the house.
Yeah.
Oops.
And this is when also Seth learns that Summer has also called Marissa.
Well, this is not. It's a different scene.
It's a little, they cut away. Oh, yeah, Summer and Seth are together. And Summer has told Seth that Marissa called, but she doesn't really know where she is. And Summer wants to meet the Nana, but Seth says...
What are you doing with your hands right now? You're doing... what is that? You're like pretending like they're like bird beaks.
Yeah, it's like these two little people that are talking back and forth, like chip 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 chip, talk a lot, chip a little, chip a little, talk a little, talk a little, chip a little, talk a little, chip chip chip, talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little. It's pick a little, talk a little. That's what it is. Anyways, Summer wants to meet the Nana, but Seth doesn't want her to, and Summer ends up taking this as like, I'm going to prove myself.
Yeah. Because Seth, once again, is, like, embarrassed by his girlfriend for some reason. And he plays it off as, like, no, it's just the Nana's mean and I don't want to do that. But he's clearly embarrassed by her.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, you are a shitty boyfriend, dude. You suck. You suck, dude. I love Seth Cohen, and he's pissing me off. I hope she dumps him. Oh, my God, I can't believe I just said that.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's because you want to swoop in there. But you know what, Scott?
I'm going to swoop.
Summer's not a real person.
Swoop,
but
baby,
every time we watch this show,
baby,
you're
swoop,
like more and more, oh my gosh,
baby,
Elyse,
swoop.
you are Summer. You
are.
just keep saying that to me.
You are, because you are. You're Summer.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a compliment. Why wouldn't it be?
If I was Jewish, you totally would have come to Seder and asked the 4 questions.
Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. So while...
You also can't pronounce challah bread.
Challah. What?
You said
the challah?
You said challah
the
the
challah?
other day. Yeah.
The challah. It's the
I mean, I can't comment on it.
Anyways, so while everyone is preparing for the Nana, we learn all about her background. And this is where Sandy got his righteousness, is from the Nana, because she is a social worker in the Bronx. And Sandy is convinced that the only reason that she is coming for Passover is for an intervention so that he goes back to his own path of righteousness, since he has left and decided to go into a private practice and then open his own restaurant.
Yeah, Mama America coming here to set the cap straight.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, in this
fashion
scene,
advice with Scott.
Well, I mean, explain this to me. I don't know. You know fashion better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Kirsten Cohen is suddenly wearing a scarf over her neck, like a thick scarf covering her whole neck, and I don't think it looks good.
She would have got. My guess, honestly, is that she got burned with something. Or she,
had,
there was the actress had something happen to her neck, and they were doing their best to cover it up. Which, why not with makeup?
Good question.
I don't know.
It looks like,
but it looks real bad.
It looks like what people do in vampire movies when they're bit by a vampire and don't want to show the teeth marks. They wear a scarf over it. So I mean,
so Sandy's a vampire.
My headcanon here is that Kirsten is a vampire. So,
no, she bit her own neck.
Well, she's turning into one because she was bitten by a vampire.
By whom?
I don't know.
Sandy.
The fucking Orange County vampire. I don't know.
By Julie?
Whoa. No, she's too orange.
Oh. Okay.
Who is this is pause. Who's the most likely character in Newport Beach to be a vampire?
Definitely Julie.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It could be little Caitlin, because we never see her out during the day. She's always inside.
Caitlin's just never around.
It's true.
Until like season, I forget, I think 3. Anyways.
Spoilers.
Sorry. We're going to talk about this on and off again very briefly because it just keeps popping back up. But Jimmy comes over to check on Haley and lets everyone know that there's nothing wrong with a good strip club.
He must have heard our conversation from last week and was like, you know what, Scott, Elyse, you guys are right. I just want to clarify on the record.
Yeah, they definitely knew that, and then they went back and they reshot that scene and then put it on all of Hulu and then reburned my DVDs and came into the middle of the night and like snuck in and replaced that DVD only so that then every time that we watched it, we would remember that they had that conversation based on our own opinion of it.
You know, you're being sarcastic, but I think that's
I'm no sarcasm here. That's what people do. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, definitely. So nobody wants to go to the airport to pick the Nana up with Sandy because everyone's scared of the Nana and she hasn't really been over very often.
Do you think it's weird that they call her the Nana?
No.
I think it's a little weird.
No.
Like
it's the Coens.
Yeah, but they don't call anyone else that. It's not like the Seth.
The Kirsten.
Nobody calls her the Kirsten.
Seth called her the Kirsten this episode.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Well, I think he was making a joke off of the Nana.
Everyone knows it's the Nana.
Have you ever called your what do you call your grandparents?
The granny.
You
the peepaw.
You do not call her the granny.
The grandma and the granddad.
Yeah. I was grandma and grandpa.
The grandma and the grandpa?
I did not. It was Grandpa Didana and Grandpa Daly.
I call you the Hubs.
Yeah, I don't like it.
The Ghost. The Penny.
No,
there's articles in front of everything, Scott.
No.
It's the English language.
Let's move on, please.
Anyways, nobody has to go with Sandy to pick up the Nana because she shows up on her own and seems, dare I say it, nice. Everyone thinks this can't possibly be because the Nana has never been nice to the Kirsten.
Ugh. Hey, she like walks into the house and like looks around the house and goes, oh my God, this house, this view. Has she never been to visit them? Haven't they lived here since Seth was like a little boy?
Yeah, she doesn't like Kirsten, and she did not like that Sandy moved across the entire country.
Sure, I get that, but go once. I mean, the kid's 16. No. Come on, Nana. No. Come on, the Nana.
No. She doesn't like California. Not like we do.
Yeah.
Anyways, whenever Seth goes on and on about how the Nana and the Kirsten, two people that hate each other, actually liking each other, light bulb goes off. And Ryan realizes where Marissa is. Two people who don't like each other that are getting along. Marissa can only be with Teresa.
Can I just say that this was totally ruined for us because the previously on shows Eddie telling
worry
Ryan
about
if he ever shows up in Chino again, he'll kill you. That's in the previously on. It's like, okay.
Don't worry
he's
about it.
going to Chino, so that's definitely where Marissa is. She's
I
in
thought you were
Chino.
going to stop watching those.
Well, they just play at the beginning of the episode. I can't help it.
You can fast forward.
No, I
Yeah.
can't do that. You're a remote lady.
And so whenever Ryan goes and shows up at the party, it just so happens to be Teresa and Eddie's engagement party.
Oops.
Ryan is not happy that they got engaged and also that Marissa will just not go home.
Yeah. Marissa has just decided she's going to live there now. If I were Teresa, I would be like, hey, no, maybe you should go with him. Like, you can't just stay at my house forever. Like, I'd love to put you up for a couple days, but I don't know you that much, and
Don't worry about
it.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, Teresa and Marissa keep exchanging clothes again.
Fashion with Scott 101.
They have different body types. They're
They
not
do.
the same size of
They do.
people, and they keep changing clothes. And they're like, it's not like they're loose fitting clothes. Where you're like, oh, that's a little loose on Marissa because
Actually,
she's
the
taller
dress
and
was a
skinny.
little loose on Marissa.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Miss Fashion Expert now. Why don't you just leave the fashion to me?
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Fashion with Scott.
Yeah.
The rest of the show. We do still have some fashion with Scott we haven't talked
Oh,
about
yeah, we
yet.
do.
Okay, so we're going back, and the Nana doesn't want to make a big deal out of the Seder, which is completely against all that we have known about the Nana and
Yeah.
what she believes about Seder and what a big deal she wants to make out of things. But she seems mellow and wants to see Sandy's restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is again weird because this is that, venture that he's going off to that has nothing to do with helping other people. It's just himself.
They basically determine right away that something's going on
Yeah.
with the Nana.
But Kirsten doesn't want anybody to mess with the Nana
She's being nice
because
for the first time ever.
she is actually getting along with her and wants her to be like that forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear the doorbell. Ding dong.
Who is it?
It's Summer who shows up with cookies to meet the Nana and decides that she's going to participate in the Seder and is going to study so hard that she's going to out-Jew you, Seth Cohen.
But I think that's so sweet, though. Like we said,
She's taking an interest in his life
she's
and trying to learn.
She wants to meet his grandmother. She wants to participate in his religious rituals. Like, this is important to her, and she's trying to be part of it. And Seth is like, he doesn't want to tell the Nana that he's dating her at first. Like, she's the one that has to do it. And I'm just like, Seth, you dick. You dick.
It's not real cool.
But most importantly,
yeah.
the fuck is up with this hat that
The
Summer's
hat
wearing?
makes Summer's head look like
a penis?
Yeah.
Is that what you were going for?
Yeah.
It does.
It
I
does,
don't understand
doesn't
why this hat. Did
very
she think
trendy.
was it a
was
choice
a
to
trend.
be trendy,
It was
or
a
was it like
trend.
to impress? Because my immediate thing is she's trying to impress Nana Cohen somehow, and I didn't understand
women
how that
do not
would
wear
do so.
yarmulkes.
I understand that it's not a yarmulke. It's like a
It's a toboggan. It's a knit
it's
toboggan.
like a slouchy beanie.
Yeah, it is.
I
She's
don't-
just so trendy and fashionable.
I guess it's also Southern California, so it's probably really hot.
Yeah. And Sandy, he's not buying this whole Jewish Mary Poppins shtick.
And so he pushes his mom on why she's acting so weird, right?
Yeah. He finds out it's because his mom has lung cancer and she only has 4 to 6 months to live.
Oops.
And she came to say goodbye.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Now,
Cut back to Chino.
to
Hooray.
Eddie, who wants Ryan to say goodbye, who came to their party, and Ryan gets beat up.
Ryan gets beat up again, because of course he does, because he's Ryan, and that's what he does. He always gets beat up.
And Ryan lets Julie know that he found where Marissa is, but he's not going to tell her where she is. And Marissa gets Ryan cleaned up, but she still won't leave. Basically, anytime we see Marissa and Ryan at the party for quite some time, Ryan's like, hey, Marissa, let's leave. And Marissa's like, no, I can't go back.
Yeah,
I won't leave. And Ryan's like, hey, let's leave. Marissa, no, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole thing over and
It
over
just
again.
spins its wheels. And, I don't understand. Eddie is super pissed at Ryan and, gets in a fight with him. And then, 2 scenes later, he's, sitting next to him drinking a beer. And it's just like, hey, man, you know what I realized? We're the only 2 left from the original crew. And he's just, okay with him now. And, nothing happened in the intervening moments to make him change his mind. It's just, we need to move the plot forward because we're just spinning our wheels and Chino doing nothing. I do not like it.
Yeah. So the Nana, she helps cook for the Seder and refuses to talk about her illness. She's just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. And she doesn't want Sandy to tell anyone, including Seth. And the real Nana, the claws come out.
She did. She hates California. She hates the sun. She hates Schwarzenegger, who was the governor of California in 2004.
Oh, yes,
if
governor.
you've forgotten about that.
Oh.
His daughter, now married to Chris
The
Pratt,
Chris Pratt. Yes.
the guardian of the
Yes,
entire
governor.
galaxy. What are
If
you doing?
I had a family member that was a governor, I'd be like, oh, yes, governor.
And that is why you will
Just
never have a family
over and
member
over.
that is a governor.
Oh, yes, governor. Actually, maybe I should be the governor and make
Then you
everyone go,
can't-
oh, yes, governor, to me.
Nobody would do that.
Yes, they would.
Or what? You're going to fire him?
Yeah.
That's going to go great on the
Yeah.
news.
Excuse me. What did you say?
Governor Daley fires her entire staff again. Reason? They wouldn't call me governor.
Oh, yes, governor.
So, Julie tells Luke. Luke shows up at Julie's house because he's stupid. And basically they have a whole conversation about if she doesn't come back, we're locking her up. She's going in the slammer, the brain slammer.
So now Luke's on a mission.
Yep.
Luke's on a mission. Brian's on a mission.
Everybody's on a mission.
Julie says she's looking for Marissa, but really
she appears
she's
to
not.
just be at her house.
Yeah.
She's just at her
Yeah.
house the whole time.
Yeah. But the Nana's smoking. And I
Yes,
don't
she
mean
is.
good looking smoking. I
she's
mean
pretty
she is smoking those cigs. Because she sees cancer as a perk to do whatever she wants. I'm dying of lung cancer. Why not make it worse? And Sandy came in. He spoke with the doctor, found out that with treatment, she couldn't cure the cancer, but she could slow it down a lot so that she'd have more time with her kids and her grandkids.
Yeah.
And so basically he's pleading to her in order to do this because when he was little, she didn't have any time for them. His dad left them and
She was working all the time,
she was
saving all the other
working-
kids in the neighborhood.
oh,
Never her son.
deja vu, governor.
What? Stop. You can't just say, oh, governor.
Anyways, so he wants her to have this treatment so they can have some more time together towards the end.
And Seth, unbeknownst to them,
Yeah.
has been chilling behind them, hearing this whole conversation. So now he
Yeah.
knows that
And
the
he's-
Nana has the cancer.
He's hurt. You
Well,
can see
yeah,
in his
I would be
face that he's upset
Let me
that she
just-
doesn't want to stay around for
Let
all
me
of
just
them.
save some time for you and for any member of my family that might be listening to this podcast. If you're sick and you don't tell me, I'm gonna be real mad at you. I'm gonna be real freaking mad. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. This isn't the farewell.
Hey,
Not in
Scott.
my house.
Yeah, it's actually against the law in the U.S.
Well, yes, that is.
as far as the doctor
Well, yeah.
relationship goes.
Yes.
It's not illegal for me to hide my illness from you,
No.
but it's just a sign of love that I want to be honest with you. Okay. So we're moving on to the segment of the show where I call Everybody Has a Heart to Heart. First, Marissa and Teresa have a heart to heart. They're talking at the engagement party. Marissa's making sure it's okay that she can still stay with Teresa. And they clear up the whole Teresa goes to Newport and sees Ryan and they hook up and they're hanging out. And Marissa just wants to make sure that Teresa really isn't hurt by the fact that there's the whole Marissa and Ryan drama still going on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot this entire scene existed because I fell asleep because it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Heart to heart number 2, Eddie and Ryan. Eddie realizes that Ryan came for Marissa and not for Teresa, like he said.
Yeah, he
So
said it-
everything's cool.
He said it like 6 times, and on the 6th time, he was like, "Oh, I got it." The funny thing about this scene for me is that Eddie is drinking a beer, and at the very beginning of the scene, we see him he reach into a cooler and hand Ryan a beer, but we never see the beer in Ryan's hand.
yeah.
He never brings it up to his mouth and drinks it. It's almost as if like they specifically shot it, or they got a note that you can't have Ryan casually drinking. You cannot. Like the only
true.
time these teenagers are allowed to drink in the story is
Is
when
at
the
a
moral of
party.
the story is that them drinking is bad.
Yeah.
So casual drinking, not allowed. Note from ABC, or what channel was this on?
Fox.
Note from Fox. No drinking.
Okay.
So that's all I was paying attention to that scene because I thought it was boring also.
All right. And the best heart-to-heart of the heart-to-heart section
Oh, yes,
is
back
with
to one I care about.
the Nana and the Seth.
Yeah, this is a good conversation.
Yes. The Seth doesn't understand why she won't get
Are you
treatment.
going to keep doing that?
Yeah.
The Seth?
The Seth doesn't understand why she won't get treatment. And I didn't write this part down, but I liked the quote, or when she was talking to him about, you know, why wouldn't you tell me that you have cancer? And that way, you know, we could say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, basically, I forget what she had said, but it was to the effect of, it doesn't matter if I have cancer. Not every conversation could be our last conversation. It doesn't matter if you knew that I was sick, because everyone is in that same boat. And it is true. You know, like cancer or no cancer, the conversation that I have with you tomorrow morning before you go, heaven forbid, it could be the last conversation that I ever have with you.
Yeah, why are you saying this? You're making me depressed.
I'm just saying that the Nana was right in that, but the Seth was also right.
Yeah.
Because
more time is more time.
More time is more time. And the Nana says that your dad doesn't know me as well as he thinks. And then Seth comes back and says, you're the one who doesn't want to stick around. Whose fault is that?
That's so wise, Seth.
Yeah, because if you stick around, then the dad will have the opportunity to get to know the Nana. And then the Sandy, the Seth, and the Nana.
And the Ryan.
And the Ryan.
The Kirsten.
And the Summer. And not the
Marissa.
Not Marissa. We don't even give her the article. We don't give.
Not the Caleb. Not the Julie.
No. But maybe everyone else will be
the Caitlin.
The happily ever after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Haley?
I don't know. Do you like the Haley?
I'm okay with the Haley.
Okay, the Haley is fine. Okay, so after heart-to-heart section is over, we're going back to the engagement party that seems to be going well. And dare I say it, is Marissa slightly funny?
Callback humor.
Yeah.
Callback humor is my favorite kind of humor.
Yeah, so Ryan's checking in on what she thinks about Chino.
Yeah, and what does she say, Elyse?
I think I could get in more trouble where I'm from.
What? Rewind. Episode 1. So what do you think of Newport so far? I think I get in more trouble here than where I'm from.
Way to go, Marissa.
Wow.
Yeah. So Marissa wants to keep running even though she's having fun at this engagement party. But Ryan tells her he doesn't want to keep chasing her.
And then Marissa, goes into another room.
Yeah.
Ryan follows her, and she just takes off her clothes to change into her other clothes.
I mean, her back's next to it.
I mean, yeah, she was wearing a dress, though. She's necky.
She'd probably put her pants on.
I don't think so, Tim.
Okay. Well,
I thought it was just a little weird. I mean, I know they've, been dating, and they've done some heavy petting. I don't think they've ever had sex,
They have not. It's been noted on the show.
So, I don't know. It's just a little weird that she's just totally cool with just stripping off that shirt. It's one thing. I don't know why they did it. Just go in the bathroom. I feel like there were a lot of weird directorial decisions in this episode that seemed to be either they were just behind schedule or they just didn't block and build the set properly to where oh, where are we going to do this scene? Oh, I don't know. There's no bathroom. We can't get a camera in a position where we can see okay, we'll just have her do it right there. This is weird. It was weird. Mr. Lane, I don't think this is the best work.
This is the last one he directs, right?
No, he's got a bunch more.
Oh, a bunch more.
Well, at least 3 more, I think.
Hope he has a new costume director by then. Okay, so while Marissa is changing, a friend shows up. Friend of them both.
Oh, no.
A friend of them and Juju.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Luke.
The worst fucking time for him to be here.
Marissa is pissed. What does she do, Scott? Scott, what does Marissa do?
She fucking 5 fingers to the face. Slap!
Oh, that's what you meant. 5 fingers to the face.
Yeah.
In your show notes.
Yes.
I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, so you just ignored it.
Yeah, I did.
She slaps the shit out of him. And
Yeah,
I'm
she does.
Yeah, get that. It's so weird how Luke has been on a fucking roller coaster journey this episode.
It's true.
Douchebag to nice guy to fucking comedic relief hilarious guy to ew, don't sleep with their mom, and now he's back to douchebag.
Yeah. quite the circle.
It is.
Yep.
It's a circle
The circle.
of douchebag. No, we're not talking about the reality television show anymore. Stop it.
What if Luke was on the circle?
That would be funny.
I would love it.
Okay.
He'd be a fun character. Okay. So the Summer and the Kirsten are absolutely wonderful.
Oh my God, I love that.
I loved this.
Oh my God. I hope we're looking at future mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship here because I want it. It's so good.
And Kirsten she have no idea what made the Nana scary again.
Yeah.
They just talk back and forth and try and do the
I think they're only allowed to make those jokes because they're dating Jewish people. I don't know. I feel like part of me was like, is that funny?
I thought it was funny. I did. And in walks the Nana. And Kirsten calls her out for not wanting to stick around and get to know her kids.
Kirsten unleashes some of that sweet, sweet guilt manipulation.
Well, because I didn't touch on this, but earlier in the show, they did mention that, wasn't it Kirsten's mom that had cancer? Isn't that what it was? I forget. Who are they saying had cancer?
Yes, Kirsten's mom had cancer and died of cancer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like, why would you not want to get the help when you could?
Yeah, well, I mean,
and
like,
her having gone through that
we didn't
before.
talk about it, but they had that whole conversation earlier in the episode where she was basically like, well, when my mom got cancer, like, we did chemo, we did the whole thing, and her response is, well, did it work? She's like, no. But, I mean, so what? Like, you try. You just gotta try. Just try.
Yeah.
Babe, if you get sick, you better try. I'm gonna be so mad at you if you don't try.
You want to know something that's interesting?
What's that?
A friend of mine, her mom, not officially has come back as it is cancer, but they're going through like the process of figuring out if it is or not.
Mm-hmm.
And don't know if it's the doctors or don't know if it's really the method of how cancer is being treated these days. But basically the doctor is telling her that the treatment not to do chemotherapy, but to do this other treatment to where it's treating it as like a chronic disease as opposed to cancer so that it doesn't make you miserable at the end.
I don't know what any of that means, but okay.
Yeah. Because chemo, I mean, it can help and it can cure, but it can be pretty rough.
It's literally...
It's chemicals.
It's poisoning your body and hoping it kills the cancer before it kills you.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. Anyways, Ryan needs to get back to the Seder, and he convinces Marissa to go by guilting her into thinking about her dad. What's her dad going to do without her? What's Caitlin going to do without her? What's Summer going to do without her? And me.
What about me? What am I going to do without you?
And you see that little look in her eyes.
Yeah, well, I mean...
And you just
at this point,
see that shake in your head.
I mean, at this point, I'm just assuming they're going to get back together. Like, that's just going to happen. So I don't even mind it anymore.
Okay.
I don't even mind him leading her on, because I don't think he's leading her on. I think he's just going to get back together with her, because that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, Sandy's honest with his mom about the Seder and about how they've never really had it at the house before. And the Nana's impressed that Sandy actually brought a kid home instead of what she did by just finding homes for kids after all these years. I think she feels as though there's that connection between her and her son.
Consider yourself one-upped, mama. Boom.
And the Nana, she's going to leave early. Not because she's upset with California and she hates it, but because she's going to go home for treatment.
But she does hate California, too.
Yeah, but she does.
That is true.
But that's not the reason that she's leaving early.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we cut over to Marissa, who is now at home. Well, Julie's home.
Someone else who's going home.
She's only there to get her clothes. And just as she's walking up the steps, Julie Cooper opens the door and goes to give her a hug. And Marissa says, no.
Stop right there.
And she says, if you don't let me go, call the cops, and I'm going to tell them why I ran away.
She's got that leverage for the rest of her life.
She's got leverage on Julie, and you better believe Marissa Cooper is going to use that leverage.
Oh, yeah.
That's just her deal.
Yeah. And now we're going to touch again on the whole Jimmy and Haley because they're touching each other.
Whoa.
And Jimmy goes to the Seder. He's like, Haley, you were right. I do like you. And then she was like, no, you were right. We shouldn't do this. And then basically they're both right. And they decide to screw everything and they're going to screw each other.
Sure.
Yep. They're going to do it.
We kind of cut we kind of cut most of this part out of the episode because it's just like them going back and forth and saying like, oh, I thought that you wanted to. no, I didn't, because they're my friends. But let's do it instead. Let's do
Yeah.
it. And they're like, okay, let's do it, and we'll keep it secret. We'll keep it secret because in this town, everyone's really good at keeping secrets.
And secrets are, very common in the OC.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
You just took a very long time
I wasn't
to say
really
the thing I
listening.
said.
And then I realized that I was just going to say the same thing that you said. And then I thought, maybe if I just delay it, then it'll at least sound different when I say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did.
That was a great move, babe.
Yeah,
That's quick thinking.
Thanks.
So Summer has memorized all her lines for the Seder.
Because why, Scott?
Because Seth didn't bother to tell her.
No, because Summer's the perfect girlfriend.
Well, yeah, but also Seth didn't bother to tell her that she didn't have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And she's
That's
just
true,
trying to be
too.
the perfect girlfriend, and she is the perfect girlfriend because she's wonderful. And Seth doesn't even
You're welcome.
appreciate how wonderful she is. Although he is appreciative of her taking the effort here.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're cute. I mean, like, I've been giving him a hard time. They have this little, like, they tease each other, and they got that chemistry.
They got that good dynamic.
Because they're banging on the DL.
Like you and me.
In the trailers.
Probably so.
We call cut, and Seth and Summer say, do you need us, or are you going to do this Ryan and Teresa shit? And they go run back to their trailer.
Probably so.
When this trailer's a rockin', tell them when it's time to be on set.
Yeah. So Marissa and Ryan, they show up at the Seder, and Marissa is revealed to everyone that she slapped Luke.
Yeah,
And
and
then
Seth's response to this is perfect.
That she's been hanging out with Ryan too much because now she's getting physical.
Yep, because that's what Ryan does. He punches. I love that this is a joke with you and I, and independently, the show has realized its own writing
No, I mean,
tendencies.
this was the thing. Again, like when they reshot this episode, they had listened to our jokes,
wow.
and then they added it in.
It's crazy
Scott.
that they're putting all this work in for us.
I know,
very
it's
nice.
really awesome. Yeah. So one of my favorite parts in this episode is at the very end, Sandy's just checking in with Ryan, and he's like, hey man, how's everything at home? Because you know that he went home to Chino, and then Ryan goes back and he says, you tell me I was in Chino. Because Ryan thinks that the OC is home. Oh you're so sweet.
My heart is so warm and happy.
Yeah. So everyone's gathering around the Seder table, enjoying the 6 hours of the Seder before they can eat.
Interestingly enough, it is Stanford Cohen that begins the Seder. Not Summer better get to do part of this because she
She'll get
worked
to do
real
part of it.
hard.
She'll get to do
We don't
part
get to
of
see it, but she better get to do
Duh.
it.
Everyone
She
will
worked
give
real hard.
Summer her time. Yep. And Jimmy and Haley are holding hands.
Yeah, the camera slowly zooms out of
Which I had never seen
the
that
open
before.
window
Thank you for pointing that
and,
out
like,
to me.
on the DL
Yeah.
with their hands under the table so nobody else can see that they're holding hands. Aw, everything's going great in the
Yep.
OC. Nothing bad can happen now.
You're right, Scott. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check in with all these relationships now that we've seen what they've done this entire episode.
This is the fewest amount of relationships we've ever had on a relationship status since the beginning of the show.
Okay.
We're very love triangle free at the moment, Elyse.
That's true, which means coming soon.
Coming soon.
All right. So first up, we have Coop and Ryan. Last week they were at a 2 out of 10. Ryan heads back to Chino to rescue Marissa. And while things aren't entirely back to normal between the two of them, it certainly seems to be going that way. Scott, we give them a 5 out of 10
That's
this
a
week.
fair score, Elyse. Very
I think
fair
so.
score. We
How
move
about
on
Seth and Summer?
to the golden couple. Last week we gave Seth and Summer an 8 out of 10. Another week on the OC. Another week of Seth kind of being a shitty boyfriend and Summer being unquestionably the absolute best girlfriend ever. I want to bump the score up. I really do. I want to do it, but I just can't. Cohen is just like Summer's at a 10 and Cohen's at like a 7, and it's just bringing him down.
Okay.
I'm going to leave him at 8 out of 10.
All right, that seems fair. We're going to move now to Sandy and Kirsten Cohen. Last week, they were at a 9 out of 10. Scott, while the introduction of the Nana could have been a perfect opportunity to introduce some conflict in the Cohen marriage, but Sandy and Kirsten both stick up for each other against the Nana. What a couple. Scott, these two are unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
Still at a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you try to beat them, you will lose. If Ryan tries to punch that couple, he will just get hit in the face.
He will no longer have a home.
That's true. A side effect, but true. Yes. Up next, we have Julie Cooper and Caleb Nickel. Last week, we gave them a 6 out of 10. Caleb is not in this episode, and so there's no movement on this relationship. However, the Luke situation is looming its ugly head over the beautiful beaches of Newport, and it could explode like some sort of surfer dude A-bomb at any moment.
Yes, indeed.
It was like an explosion of Axe body spray and puka shells to make the Julie Cooper and Caleb Nichol relationship a 5 out of 10.
Okay, Scott. We have our last couple this week, Jimmy and Haley. Last week, they were at a 5 out of 10. And Scott, oh boy. Remember at the end of the episode when they were holding hands? Jimmy couldn't get Joe, so he decided to commit to Amy.
That's a Little Women reference, ladies and gentlemen, and I did it. I was the one that wrote that. Man, am I pop culture savvy.
Hashtag stay humble.
Greta Gerwig.
We're going to give
Little
them
Women,
a 6 out of 10.
Academy Award nominated, but not for director.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Joe and you get it? Because Joe is Kirsten and Amy is Haley.
Remember when you hate how like I explain the jokes all the time?
Do you get it? Because I didn't feel like
I'm actually good at explaining them and making it sound funny, and you're not.
It just didn't feel like you.
You don't remember that?
It just didn't feel like you got it. So I'm just making sure you got the joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
Next week on the OC, we will be discussing episode 24. Only 4 episodes left before the season finale.
What?
Episode 24, The Proposal.
So what do you think, Scott? What's going to happen?
Okay, we have to be honest here, and that I've known since the one thing I absolutely 100% remembered from watching the OC back when I was in college was that Caleb and Julie get married. That's what I remember. So
this is when you think that they get.
I think this is going to be the proposal. However, I also think they're going to play double meaning stuff on here. So while Caleb will be proposing, I think someone will be giving someone else a proposal.
Ah, yes, because they always have those 2 storylines going on hand in hand.
That's our A and B and sometimes C.
Okay.
Let's hope they're a little bit better. You know, we started out the show saying we liked this episode okay, but I think our commentary reflected a feeling on this episode that we didn't really like it too much.
Scott.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
Our shows are always better than the episodes.
We know that our boy Schwartz is listening because he's making all the change. So I just don't want to hurt his feelings.
That's true.
I just don't want to hurt his feelings.
You know what, Scott? You need to stop trying to please people and just say what you mean.
All right. Schwartzman, make Seth Cohen not bad.
Okay.
Do that.
We'll see if he does that.
All right.
All right, that's all that we have time for this week. If you like this podcast.
So what was that? That's all that we time for this week?
That's all that we have time for this week.
That's all that we time for this week.
If you like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows that we do over at DukeMedia.com.
Shows like what?
Shows like your new show, The Kingslingers.
Kingslingers.
Yes, you are dissecting the Dark Tower series. You just finished the first book, The Gunslinger.
I held up the book for her and she couldn't read.
I don't know why I almost added an extra G. The Gungan
The Gungan Slinger.
Yeah.
It's
So
Star
you guys
Wars.
are going to start the next book next week entitled... Oh, no, you're going to have a little summary episode, and then you're going to do the week after that. So you have time to catch up. You can read 1 book in 1 week, and there you go.
Yeah,
I'm not
easy.
going to be able to do it, but you know what? I will just try and read it later.
Also, if you like this show, if you like Kingslingers, if you like any of the shows we do here on Doof Media, you can support us by joining our exclusive Patreon community.
That sounds
Go
awesome.
to patreon.com/doofmedia and donate just a mere $100.
That would be cool.
No, just donate. You can donate $5 and get access to our Doof Dancer level, which gets you access to a monthly Doof and Chill, we call it, where you just hang out with us for a couple hours.
Where you hear Scott laughing really loudly from the other room.
I'm sorry. It was really funny. It was really funny.
I was kind of worried you were peeing your pants.
I almost did.
I'm not surprised.
Cup Quest was really funny. You missed out, at least.
You
missed out
needed
on
a cup for
Quest.
that quest.
No, that's
Pea
gross.
cup. Yep.
All right, everyone.
Also, if you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, why don't you go over there and drop us a rating and review? We would appreciate it. It always helps us look like we're better than we are.
Word. Hey, wait. No, it makes us look exactly as good as we are.
Yeah.
Don't self-deprecate. Well, you can self-deprecate. Don't me-deprecate.
Okay.
We'll see you next week for episode 21.
I love you.
The Proposal. Farewell from the OC. Governor.
Yes, governor.